unicast traffic, and then we have broadcast traffic. With broadcast, you're essentially sending it to everyone. And so we'll break it down in a little bit when we start talking about ARP and how if a new node kind of gets online and it doesn't know who anybody is, it's like that new person in the neighborhood, and you just put that sign out in your front yard that says, sold on the house, then everybody tends to come over to your house and gives you information, and they want to gossip and say, hey, I live here. This is who I am. That person lives there. That's who they are. Said, other important information that you probably, will or won't want. But that's essentially how that works. So again, with unicast traffic, we're talking about information being sent from one sender to a single recipient, and broadcast, it goes out to everyone. We will talk about multicast traffic later on, but with multicast traffic, it's not going to everyone, but it is going to multiple recipients. The same way you could essentially look at it from a sense to really understand it is if I were to send, let's say this entire class was in one email subject, right? Just one email group. And I wanted to send just one of you an email. I'm sending you unicast traffic. If I send an email and I forward it or I send it out to the entire group, I'm sending out broadcast traffic. But let's say I only wanted to email specific students. There, I'm using multicast traffic. Nodes that share the same broadcast address are said to be within the same broadcast domain. So everyone in my household right now, since we all reside on my same network, we're all in one broadcast domain. Everybody in this class, where you are at your houses or whatever network you're residing on, you're within your own broadcast domains. Switches don't break up broadcast domains. Routers break up broadcast domains, but switches do. Switches do have the capability to allow different broadcast domains to be broken up. And for that, we're going to start talking about VLANs. But before we move any further, I wanted to show you this diagram here. It's very interesting. You see we have a router sitting at the top, and it says the router does not forward broadcast between A and B, and A being broadcast domain A and broadcast domain B. It's not going to do that because the router sends out information to specific address groups. Broadcast A is within their own address group, and broadcast B or domain B is within their own broadcast group or their own broadcast domain. So for example, for this one, if we look at domain A, we're going to say that this one rides on the 192.168.1.0 network, and broadcast domain B resides on the 192.168.2.0 network. So any information that comes from the internet up here and it hits this router, I'm not going to broadcast it out to both domains. It's going to be specifically assigned to one domain or the other. So I'm going to flood, or I'm going to send whatever information is coming from, said internet source to whatever domain I want. Once it hits that switch has that smart technology to say, hey, this is a packet coming from somebody across the internet. It's specifically wanting to go to the recipient with the IP address of, and we can look at this first node here. We can say that this first node has the IP address of 192.168.1.1. Okay, so I want this to go to .1. So I'm going to send it out this port to travel along this one medium to hit .1. .2 and .3 will not be affected by this. And this is the grand scheme of how collision domains and broadcast domains work. When we start talking about VLANs or virtual local area networks, they can be used to isolate the network. It says here that they can isolate switch ports to separate broadcast domains, and that is correct. But upon moving from this course, if you take it anywhere else, you are going to see that whenever you hear it in the field, it's VLANs will isolate the network. We can break one network down into multiple different segments of the network by using a virtual local area network. What is the biggest benefit of using multicast versus broadcast or vice versa? Is it time efficiency or packet fragment management? Has nothing to do with time efficiency or packet fragment management. It's essentially, like I was stating before, if I want to send multiple traffic, or if I want to send traffic to everybody, if I want everybody to know what's going on, I'm going to send broadcast traffic out. But if I only want specific people to receive specific information that I'm sending, I'm only going to send it out through multicast. Does that answer your question, Eduardo? All right, should be able to get through here. All right, before he gets back to me on that one. Yeah, so it's directional management. Yeah, I mean, it's all about management. It can be about management, but it could also be about frame and packet forwarding. If I have a frame that comes in, if I have a packet that comes in and I want to forward this, I have to inspect that packet. I have to look at the packet. I look at the source and the destination header. I'm looking to look at the header of the packet, right, or the frame, and I'm looking at the source and destination IP address, and I'm going to look at the source and destination MAC address.